Hannah, and I'm so excited to be joining Pineapple Papers and her series of Off the Board. That is where we take one of our pins from Pinterest and use it as inspiration of some kind. I am also still using sketches from last month. So Christy's Beautiful Life and her 30 Days of Sketches. I'm using sketch number 12, or it's June 12th, so day 12 from last month. I will link the playlist below, and it is an exclusive sketch by Miss Carrie. So the pin that you'll have seen at the beginning is, it's a mood board, and it happens to be for Monsters, Inc. So these pictures are from when we went to Florida. We went to Disney one day. We went to Magic Kingdom, and we did go to the laugh floor, Monsters, Inc., where Eliza got on the big screen, where she loves all the attention, which if you knew Eliza, she does love the attention. So this mood board made me think of this paper pack. I've pulled this out recently for, well, actually it was last month for the 30 Days of Sketches, and it was a layout with my husband and myself and our bikes. So we're gonna go back to this. And what I did was, there's lots of different colors. There's like oranges and pinks and different things. I kind of weeded those out. And what I wanted was those mood board colors. And that is the greens, the purples, and the blue. I did include this with the pink in that it's polka dot, and it makes me think of, I guess, Mike Wazowski with his big eye. I don't know. None of the monsters have polka dots that I know of, but so I did keep that in. And you'll see on the sketch where it's got that like long tag with the 3 photos. So I've got my 3 photos ready to go. And the same thing I did for the last time, I am using this background because I'm going to cover that gold piece up completely. And what I did was, I felt like this was closest to the mood board, where it's got the blue, the purple, and the green. Perfect, hits all of those colors. So I'm going to use that for the big tag part. And then I've got all these other pieces, and this blue is solid cardstock that I just had out from a different project. But I can use any or all of these for those strips behind. So let's get scrapping. First up, I am picking out these scraps from behind and trimming them down, and I cut a lot of this out because I didn't feel like you needed to see it. There was an extra cut apart from the cut apart pad, but I don't end up using that. I felt like it was too big. So here's a new trick that I learned. If you fold back the corner and then trim it off, and I'm a little leery about how much do I cut off, but I cut one side off, and then you can use that side obviously to mirror the second side, and I'll show it a little bit better. There you go. To get the same cut. And not that I haven't done this before, because I've totally done that piece of it before, but just the aha moment of the light bulb going on when you're like, you can just bend that over and get a perfect cut before you cut it, or, you know, follow the line of where to cut it. So that worked well for me, and I was quite excited. So here's where I take a lot of time to line up these strips that doesn't really matter where they go. First, I use my ATG to glue the photos down. I put them to roughly where I like them, and then start on the left-hand side, butt it up against that photo. So I'm making sure the placement is good from left to right. And I'm really happy with that. Getting those lined up. I didn't leave a space around it. I think in this sketch it looks like she might have backed it or left a space around it, but I did not do that. I just lined them up and went with it. So here's where I take a lot of time just messing around with getting them to where I think it's perfect. Are they perfect? No. Would you have noticed if I did it completely different? Absolutely not. So this is another me thing where I just feel like I have to get them aesthetically right before I make the big leap to gluing them down. And once I get them to where I like them, then I'm going to take that big tag off and then hold them down and glue them down while they're all held down. Sometimes they wiggle a little bit and I have to shift them, but for the most part, this is a good way to do it for me. You could totally glue one piece down at a time and line them up, they'd be fine, but I'm a little particular when it comes that way, so this is the way I tend to do it. And I'm really liking how these colors go together, how they follow the mood board that I had off of Pinterest. Using and not Disney pages, right? You don't always have to use Disney themed products to make a Disney page, but you can use color to really bring in the feeling of Disney. So I'm happy with that. I have a punch that I punched out the take hole reinforcer, and then I just use my Cricut weeder to make a hole in the middle. I place down the reinforcer where I think it should go and then make the tag around that. I glue it down and then not gluing the part with the tag hole so that I can still slip some twine into there. And I have some, I think it's Paper Studio, but it's that blue color of Sully that goes so well. So that's what I'm using to put in. It gives me a little bit of a hard time because I probably should have used a hole, something like a hole punch to make that hole instead of my scissors. So it gives me a little bit of a hard time there, but I'm just pushing the rest of the paper back through the hole to the back side where it doesn't matter. Here I'm taking that Let's Dream Big title again, trying to make that work over there, but I just decided it's too big. So I do go and put that little cluster on the right lower side. At first I was going to trim down a bigger piece, and then I was like, wait, you have smaller pieces. So I grabbed that out of the little schnibbles I had left and put those two pieces down, and it does show stitching on the sketch. So I have, right on my desk, I have this washi from 49 and Market that's stitching, and I've been using a lot of the black stitching, but this time I used the green stitching, which works here. And it's supposed to, the tape is supposed to kind of disappear into the background. I have a hard time when it's on colored paper, but anyway, the stitching is there with the washi and I like it. So I liked both of those pieces from the cut apart sheets, but so awesome. The colors just worked so well and it was very awesome. So I went into my stash. I have lots of random different color, different patterns of flowers. And so I pulled these out. I know the blue ones are close to my heart from a punch out sheet from a long time ago. The other ones are just random flowers that I have. I also have this bunch that are like purple and blue and green. And oh my gosh, did they not go well with this paper? And the paper goes well with the Disney and the Monsters Inc. So these had to go on there. I used these also on the bicycle layout that I was talking about with the same papers. There is just a couple left for one more layout, but other than that, I used a lot of these flowers up, and some of them need to be layered on top of each other, like if it had a little piece missing or something, so I got to glue different parts together. And even, you know, the bigger green flower gets glued on top of the blue flower. So lots of layering there. I used up lots out of my stash. Complemented the mood board and the colors exactly, and I love it when I can just pull old things out and make them just fit in with the design. I do use some adhesive foam tape to pop some of the portions up, not all, but the bigger ones especially. That I just got from the dollar store. There was like three rolls of different thicknesses for well, now it's $1.25. So, but I take a little bit of time moving them around. I am now realizing that there's only like, on the sketch, what is there, like 2 flowers on top and 1 on the bottom. That's okay. As I've always said, the sketch is a jumping off place, so as long as you get some inspiration from it, it doesn't matter if you follow it exactly or change it up to fit your pictures and your style, really. So yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. I just love that I got these flowers on there, and It's a great decoration when I don't have those colors of Disney themed things. Lots of the blue and the red and the yellow and the black, but nothing that is Monster Inc. colors. So this works well. You don't always need themed things. I'm a very themed scrapbooker, so it's funny to hear me say that, but um, you can do it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you check out everybody below that's playing along. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon for another video.